Hi, it's Bob with Easy Estimator again. I wanted to go through on how to create templates. This is video number 4 on setting up your app. Uh, from the dashboard, the first thing you want to do is go to Add Templates. You're going to get a form which says the template name, the search code, and then you're going to have all the codes that you created underneath there. Setting up templates is very easy, and the reason you set up templates is because you created codes for all the different types of work that you do. If you're a room addition specialist as a general contractor, you have demolition, you've got foundation, you've got framing, you've got rough plumbing, rough electrical, insulation, drywall, finished plumbing, finished electrical, roofing, stucco, all these different trades. So you want to set up codes for those trades. But just for my room additions alone, I have like 74 codes. There's a lot of them, and it's a lot of codes to load. But if you put it together as a template, they call it assemblies too, but what it is, that template will have all the codes attached to it. So when you're going to do a room addition, you just load the template, all the codes will load, and all you have to do is fill in the units from the takeoff that you've done for that room addition. I can actually bid a room addition, if I have the takeoffs, in less than 5 minutes. So if you're a plumber, electrician, you put assemblies together for different things like a plumber for a water heater. And if you use the Home Depot Updater feature, you can get all your material directly from Home Depot when you create your code. And it's updated every week. So when you put it in the template, you have quite a few different things. For a water heater, let's say for a 50-gallon water heater, you have the water heater itself, you have earthquake straps, you have gas flex lines, you have dual vent wall pipe, you have vent cap, you have the water heater enclosure, the copper flex lines, the half-inch gas valve, the gas line. So you have all these things. Now, you can put them in individually and look up the pricing from wherever you buy it from. And you don't need to have the Home Depot updater, but even if you're not buying from Home Depot, it's good to have it in there because you know what the pricing is when you bid it. If you get a better price, that's just more money you're making if you're buying it from another supplier. I have not found individual suppliers to be cheaper on a lot of plumbing. I actually get it cheaper from Home Depot, but maybe you have a better price. So you can do that yourself and not pay for the Home Depot updater. But this is one of the things why you want to create templates. You create all these different codes, and I'd say there's probably about 8 codes for a water heater installation, and then you load it into a template. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. You go to Create Template. You have the form. It's called Template Name. So I'll name it just like I name codes. Very easy. Something simple. Don't make it difficult. You don't want to use a model number because you're not going to remember which water heater that is. You want to use simple name like water heater. Just spell water heater. If I could spell, right? Water heater. And I'm going to go ahead and put 50 gallon. And I'm going to go, I could search by the code names if you want to look it up. If you have a lot of codes, you may want to do that. No, okay, this is a 40 gallon I have in here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. So when you pull that up, you see a plus sign to the right of the water heater 40 gallon. You're just going to put a check mark next to it. Okay. So then under the search code, you just erase that. And I believe I have water heaters under plumbing. So I usually put PL, that includes uh, plumbing fixture. Let me see, plumbing water heater supply. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to look at a code for the rest of it. Gas line. Water heater straps. Well, water heater vent cap. What else do I have? So I go through and I mark everything that I need for that water heater. And then once I put a check mark on there, I go to the very bottom and it says save and proceed. I think I chose 6 codes. That's what I have in there. Save and proceed. Now I do have a water heater template. If I go back to my templates and you go back to the menu, the 4 dots on the top, go back to templates, and you're going to see water heater at the very top was the one I created with 6 codes. When I load that, when I'm doing a room edition, I could load that separately along with a room edition. I could do it just by itself, and all I have to do is fill in the individual codes. So let's go ahead and do a really quick estimate on just to show you how it looks. This is going to call an estimate. I'm just going to move one of my names in there, fill it in for water heater. I'm going to save and proceed. And I'm going to add a template, which is the water heater template. I just hit the check mark, save and proceed. It loads all the codes. All I do is fill them in, go to the next one. It's easy because it's one of every item. And we generate the estimate. So now we have a simple estimate for that water heater. Came out to $2,347.18. All the codes already had labor in there, so the price was correct. I can get the customer to sign it right on the app. I can email it to them. You'll see in our Easy Estimator YouTube channels on how to sell. And one of the things you don't want to sell is by email. You have to sell yourself, so you want to be there when you sell it. So that's the last way you want to sell. You'll lose 50% of your jobs if you do it that way. Now, if you're an electrician and you want to do a 200 amp service panel, same thing. You need to you can either go to the Home Depot updater, pull up a 200 amp service panel from Home Depot. You look for the 200 amp, I'm sorry. If you're an electrician and you want to bid a service panel, you go to your template that you created for a service panel. That should include all these items: the 200 amp service panel, the 2-aught wire, the 15 and 20 amp breakers, the number 4 copper ground wire, the 2-inch conduit for the mast or 1.5 inch, the masthead, the roof flashing, the Romex connectors, and the ground rods. These are all the items, and if I'm missing something, I'm sorry, but I try to include everything in there. You create a template for that. You can do it for a 100 amp, you can do it for a 200 amp. And when you're bidding the job, all you have to do is hit the template, it'll load the codes, and you just fill in how many of each. If you need 12 breakers, you put in 12 breakers. You need 1 masthead, 1 roof flashing, you need 45 feet of 2-aught wire. So you put in the amounts and you come up with a complete estimate just like that. The Easy Estimator is a very flexible program. You can use it to bid almost anything. You can create codes for roofing, individual codes, assemble them into templates. For plumbers, for electricians, for drywallers, for painters, for general contractors. I've been using the software that this program was modeled after for over 20 years. I know how it is to estimate, and I've probably done over 500 to 1,000 estimates in those years. And I know what you're looking at and what you need. You need something simple, you need it accurate, and you don't want to have to look up the pricing. So this is the simple way to do your templates. Create templates from the codes that you need to. Otherwise, you'd have to load the codes individually. And templates are the easiest way to do that. My company, I use templates for room additions, for ADUs, for two-story room additions, for two-story ADUs, for garage conversion ADUs. I have a separate template for kitchens and baths, especially if I need to add them to my room addition. So you could create a template for patios. You only need to create the one template, and you adjust the amount of items you needed. If you're doing a patio, you put in all the different codes for the patio, and then you take your measurements and put them into the codes once the template is loaded. And you'll have a very itemized detail estimate for your patio. Okay, we'll have more videos coming up on different features that you can use on the Easy Estimator